Hi, my name is Kim Little. I work in Human Resources here at OU-Tulsa. The book that inspired me is called To Heal a Nation, and it was written by Jan Scruggs and Joel Swerdlow. This book is about the process of acquiring the land and building the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Wall in Washington, D.C. The reason this book inspired me was because I'm a child of the 60s, and I can remember vividly watching news clips every evening on the television about the Vietnam War. I did not know anybody personally that served in the Vietnam War at that time. But I've just felt very conflicted about it. Something didn't feel right about it. And when I read this book, I realized that armed conflict at the end of the day, for those of us left at home, armed conflict is not about the war. It is about those who fight the war. The Vietnam Veterans Memorial was built with the specific intent of putting all 58,000 names of those who sacrificed their lives in Vietnam onto the wall, so we would remember the sacrifices of literally those humans. And the importance of it was not the battle, it was not the war, it was those that served and those that gave all in the war. This had a huge impact on me, and it did make me start feeling healed about the Vietnam War, because I remembered that it was about each and every soldier and each and every airman and each and every Marine and each and every sailor who served. And I hadn't really ever thought about that before. This memorial was the first war memorial to commemorate the actual people that died and served, not just the battle or the event. And there's a passage in the book where it talks about how important remembering one's child's name is, and how the joy that you have when you have a child of giving that child his name or her name, that is something that can never be taken away from you, no matter what happens. And being at the Vietnam Wall several times and seeing the way people react when they just see those names up there etched in that granite, it is moving. It is moving to read this book. It is healing to read this book. It has inspired me to think more consciously about our veterans, to financially support veterans organizations when I can. I have two children in the military right now. I have a son who's active duty Army, and I have a son-in-law who's an Air Force pilot. And I cannot imagine how it would feel to go to a memorial and see either one of their names etched into that granite. But that is something no one can ever take away from those families, is the very name of those people. I would recommend this book to anyone of any age who is interested in history and interested in how things come about and how people can work together to create healing of a really significant event. The girl that designed the Vietnam Veterans Memorial was an Oriental architecture student. She's 21 years old. She has no connection with the war at all, but just the process that they went through was amazing. So I would really encourage anyone who is interested in history, interested in our military, interested in what we can do for our military, to read this book.